Last week, a member in one of my taiko classes found some of my original music on YouTube and had this idea to write lyrics in response to those songs as a way to have a kind of creative musical conversation. So, Frank, I took one of those sets of lyrics and I've arranged it into a song, and I'll share that with you now. And afterwards, I can share a little bit about the creative process. So, thanks for this fun idea, and let's keep making music.
I used to travel endlessly to distant times and lands. Above the earth, the stars, the tides, when did it all begin? My mind has floated ceaselessly in dreamless, sleepless skies. But maybe I should touch down in the present for a while. Stay the center, I have vowed to keep my balance in this endless shifting line of chord. I'm thinking now that human knowledge is so ripe for exploitation, so I choose to stay here in the now. A winter's day, the sun outside, inside its warmth I did confide. I fell asleep in a cozy sofa's hold. In dreams I travel, thoughts unfold, a floating island, tales of old, and I'm suddenly in castles in the air. The waking brings me back to see just another lonely night. I used to think that I was free, but now I think I might just stay the center. I have vowed to keep my balance in this endless shifting starry sky. I'm thinking now that human freedom is just the road I'm taking, so I choose to stay here in the now. There was a time the earth stood still, and there was a simple explanation. I'm wondering if we ever will find our way back home. But stay the center, I will keep my balance in this endless night of human exploitation. I will guard my freedom by staying in the present. I will live on in the here and now. Stay the center, I have vowed to keep my balance in this endless shifting line of chord. I'm thinking now that human conscience can't be so far forgotten, so I choose to live on in the now. Life's a gamble, and unless I'm mistaken, we will choose to live on in the now. Yeah, we will choose to live on in the now.
Alright, so here's a set of lyrics that Frank wrote called Staying in the Center, and this was a response to a song I wrote called Floating Island. For now, I just want to say that this is a poem in which the narrator tells us that they used to get caught up in big picture thoughts, about the nature of reality, deep time, and changing informational landscapes, but they've found a way to center themselves by being in the present moment. So that's the basic gist of the song. So I'm going to use this as inspiration for my song. So I'm going to use these highlighted sections. The red one and the orange one are going to inform my verse 1 and verse 2. I used Frank's verse 4 to really inform my chorus and kind of the overarching theme of the lyrics that I came up with. So I call mine Stay the Center. here it is. You can see how I used a lot of just like Frank's just direct words, and just like the feel of his poetry, the flow of it. There's a lot of that in these red and orange sections. I used to travel endlessly to distant times and lands, or a winter's day, the sun outside, inside its warmth I did confide. That nice internal rhyme there. So a lot of that is using the feel of his song, using those lyrics, but then kind of recasting it in this structure that has more of a verse chorus structure, got a bridge in there, and then kind of there are some changes to the narrator too, and maybe you can tell me how you feel it, Frank. It's not supposed to be exactly the same, right? But in what ways does this narrator present the problems, similarly or differently, as they try to keep their balance? It is supposed to be a little bit more of a complicated narrator that maybe they haven't figured it out. But anyway, that's kind of a basic lyrical analysis, or just showing what I did. Let's go and take a look at some music. Okay, so I wanted to share some of the creative process in making the lyrics into kind of a musical arrangement. And so let's start at the verse. I think maybe it was because I was interpreting like the poetry of the lyrics as iambic septameter, da 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 da. I used to travel endlessly to distant times and lands. It's a little sailory as I just sang it. It's a little silly. We don't have to be that way. It could be, I used to travel endlessly to distant times and lands. But, I think there's some tension in these lyrics. There's this balancing act, just staying in the center. So introducing a little bit more, texture to that strum pattern, that harmonic progression would be interesting. I think I settled on... So already there's like that down, up, down, up as kind of our main rhythmic structure. And then we have in our harmony, we have a minor chord, we have a seventh chord, so kind of maybe sorrow or hope, but maybe more like resolution and uncertainty, right, in this process. So it kind of gives us more maybe like emotional kind of hooks to lead our melody around. I used to wander endlessly to distant times and lands. So that's kind of what I did for the verse. So for the chorus, I had this interesting observation. It starts with these chords. And this is an E flat major chord. And a major scale has 7 notes in it, and major chord is the first, the third, and the fifth note, or these are the same notes. And at first I was being drawn to that tonic, or that first note. Stay the center, I have vowed to keep my balance. It's a little low. I tuned it down because of what we'll see next. But we're not trying to stay at the root. We're trying to stay in the middle. We're staying in the center. So instead of the first, why don't we do the third, or the medium? Stay in the center. I have vowed to keep my balance. So it kind of has this like balancing kind of feel to it, to me. And it was really the feel that came to first. I didn't go about it thinking about wanting it to be the median. It just kind of organically happened. And then when I was like kind of trying to figure out what was going on, that's what I found. So it definitely made me think about being more intentional about some of the choices we make in arranging the music to it too. So I typically don't start with lyrics. For me, the lyrics and the melody kind of have to be constructed together. So this was a very fun challenge for me to start from just kind of lyrical content and to develop a song out of it. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch my music and engage with it. So I really appreciate that, Frank, and thank you.